Conexpo press conference. First and foremost, we want to thank you. Obviously, a challenging time, the dynamic world we're in, and to see this number of press here at our press event. Truly thank you for that. I'm going to give just a very brief overview of the progress that we've made on the Terex strategy over the last couple of years. And then Matt and Kieran are really going to go into much more in-depth about the industry-leading innovative products that we have on display here at Conexpo-Con. So, Terex has a great foundation upon which it's built on and can continue to grow. And that foundation, there's two elements of that foundation. The first is our zero-harm safety culture. And that is incredibly important to us. We want to create an environment where every single one of our team members, our suppliers, our customers can come to work every single day and go home safe and sound to their loved ones. And now, I will say, and I'll comment on the coronavirus. Obviously, in this period of time, we're a global manufacturer. We have operations in China, North America, Europe, and India. And we're following all of the protocols, and I think the team's doing a really great job following the protocols to keep us all safe in this environment. So zero harm is incredibly important to us. It's also important from an environmental standpoint that we do zero harm on the environmental side. So environmental health and safety based on our zero harm safety culture is critical to us at Terex. We start every meeting, it's the first thing we review no matter what it is we're doing. The next aspect is the Terex way values. And we think that's important because great companies have a strong underlying set of values. And we think it's also important because customers want to deal with companies that have concepts of integrity, respect, and citizenship. In the world that we live in today, we think these are incredibly important. And these two things give us a great foundation upon which we can grow. Now, I think also in today's world, it's important to understand what's your purpose. Why is it that your team members are coming to work every single day? And if you think about the products and services that we provide, we truly help to improve the lives of people around the world. And that's critically important to us. But in order to achieve that vision, we have to accomplish our mission. And at the core of that mission is providing products and services to our customers that safely maximize their productivity and their return on investment. Because we know every single one of the tools we produce is a capital asset that a customer is trying to get a return on that investment going forward. So that's our purpose and our mission. And in today's world, I think having a higher level purpose is important. And we do at Terex. We were last together. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years. But we've made a lot of progress. We introduced our Focus, Simplify, and Execute to Win strategy in 2016. And we've made tremendous progress on that strategy over the course of the last couple of years. First and foremost, we focused our portfolio. And the businesses that we have in our portfolio are industry-leading businesses with globally recognized brands that have demonstrated the capability to out-earn their cost of capital to be profitable through multiple cycles, which is really important given the current cycle that we're in. And these brands and businesses are industry leaders. Companies like Genie, 50 plus years of being in the business to help really create the industry and working safely at height. Brands like PowerScreen, again, 50 plus years, really to help create the mobile aggregate crushing and screening industry. And we have Fuchs up there, material handling, 100 plus years that company's been in existence. So we have focused the portfolio on industry-leading businesses with globally recognized brands that gives us a great foundation upon which we can continue to grow. We introduced Simplify at the time. Significant progress over the course of time. Organizationally, we used to have 6 reporting segments. We simplified that down to 2. Dramatically reduced our global footprint, but we're competitive on a global basis around the world. But again, we also have to focus on what it means from a customer standpoint. And we're investing in our systems and our processes to be easier to do business with. In today's world, all customers are looking for you to be easy to do business with. So we're spending a lot of time, effort, and money improving our ease of doing business with our customers. We're also investing heavily in engineering in our products, and you're going to see that on the 35 products that are out on our stands here. Now, we laid out Focus, Simplify, and Execute to Win, and that really takes us through 2020. Well, we're in 2020 now, so our strategy is evolving. And it's evolving to execution being the foundation. All great companies execute well. But that's not enough in today's world. You also have to innovate well, and strong innovation. And Matt and Kieran are going to walk you through some of the product and system integration things that we've done here and continue to. You've got a great foundation of execution coupled with outstanding purposeful innovation. You then have the opportunity to grow, and obviously every organization, that's our aspiration, is to grow and to grow profitably in our industries. So as we think about execute, three key elements, not significant change from what we laid out 4 years ago. At the top of the list is commercial excellence, truly understanding the value proposition for our customers. We've made significant investments in things like our CRM systems, our sales and sales training processes, so being excellent at commercial excellence will continue to be a focus area. Obviously, we have highly engineered products that we have to manufacture. So operational excellence is key to our success today and key to our future success. So we're going to continue to drive improvements in our underlying operational programs. And finally, lifecycle solutions are parts and service. Every one of our products goes into the marketplace and it stays there for years, if not decades. Our ability to service and support the customer with that product is critically important to the customer, and it's critically important to our business. So we're going to continue to make investments in lifecycle solutions or parts and service. Now, over the course of the last couple of years, we've invested over $250 million in our business, in our products, our services, and our manufacturing footprint. And that literally is our global manufacturing footprint, from Northern Ireland to the United States, to India, and to China. Truly global company, significant investment in our manufacturing footprint, as well as significant investment in our people and our products and our systems as we go forward. So these are industries that we're committed to, and it's industries that we're investing in for that growth going forward. Now, what you're going to see here at Conexpo, at both our lots, is you're going to see some of the practical, purposeful innovation that we're bringing to the marketplace. Matt's going to talk about his lineup of products, but he's not just going to focus on the products, he's also going to talk about digital and telematics, because digital and telematics are critical for today and tomorrow of how we compete in the industries that we're competing in. So Matt's going to take you through that, and I highly encourage you to come to the stand and see the products that we have on our stand there. And then Kieran's going to follow up with a similar story. The innovation, and we have specialized equipment businesses within our materials processing segment. Each one of those businesses is leading through innovation and new product offerings. Product, yes, service, but also the importance of digital and telematics as it pertains to those respective businesses, and we'll show you that if you come see us on the stand as well. So again, just a quick high-level overview of the strategy, and now I'd like to introduce Matt Fearon. Matt is the president of our Aero Work Platform segment, which comprises our Genie business and our utility business. Matt, you want to come on up? And we're going to do the clock.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody, and thanks, John. Thanks for coming. As John said, I'm going to take you through the aerial work platform segment. There's two pieces of it. There's the aerials piece, which we go to market under the Genie brand, and there's recently we had the Terex Utilities group move under the AWP segment. So I'll have a couple slides going through them as well. So if you come out to the festival lot and you look at the Genie booth, you'll see lots of blue machines. But what I'm trying to accomplish here is to give you a little insight into what's there, because what you're going to see is really the culmination of 5 years of development and innovation, and it's integrated. And the other thing that you're going to see is during that 5 years, we've been just listening to customers as this market continues to change and evolve, and we're responding to that by doing different developments within our product line. So John talked about the need for purposeful innovation. Genie has been leaders in purposeful innovation, and you can count on us continuing to do that. We use those words with our engineering teams, with our product management teams. There's all kinds of ideas that come up and say, hey, this is what we should do, this is what we should develop. What we mean by that is you need to be able to draw a straight line to how does it improve the safety of the machine, how does it improve the rental ROIC for our customers, to make sure that we have innovations that matter. That's really what we're doing. And what we've been doing is trying to listen to the trends that we're seeing. The biggest trend is the expectations have changed. Our customer base, the expectation for speed, no matter what it is. You know, if they want to put a purchase order in, if they want to have a response on how long it takes to get a machine, to pick up information out of a service manual. And the way that they get that is changing. Data is becoming very easily accessible and less expensive, you know, as the cloud technology has become available. It's almost gone the other way, where there's too much data, there's too much access, and filtering it out is really where we spend our time making sure that it's purposeful innovation. The other thing that is changing, in my opinion, is that the people that are running the rental companies today, they're not as old as the three of us. They're about 20 years younger than us.
He didn't say that.
No, the expectations of that generation and the way that they were brought up, the way that they access information, that's changing. And what we're seeing is they're getting into these roles where they're starting to put pressure on us that, hey, you need to stay up. And that's good. It's a great evolution of the industry, and we're excited about it and we're embracing it. Some of the other things that are changing is technology. Starting out with safety. You know, that's the core of what our business does. It lifts people up in the air, people and materials, so that they can do safe working at height. The most recent example, there's a lot of talk about the ANSI standard change. You know, those standards changes, they drive us as manufacturers to change the way the machines work. Now you have to know how much load is in the platform. You have to know what slope the machine is on. And you have to change the way the machine behaves. That makes the machine safer, so that's an example. I will also show you some of the accessories that we have put out that come straight from the safety leaders of the biggest construction companies in the world. The other thing that's a driving force is productivity. The construction companies are looking at how do they get more productive. The rental companies are looking at how do they manage these large fleets to be more productive. We're looking at how do we become more productive in our factories, so it goes across the board through the whole value chain. Sustainability, there's customers are pulling on us to make sure that we're doing our part. They want to buy from companies that are showing that they're responsible. So that starts with the way that we run our factories. It has a lot to do with the products we put out. You know, as an industry, we've gone through the engine tier changes. That's, you know, the emissions that are coming out of those. We've all been on board in helping improve that. But it goes way beyond that. It's the noise. Okay, the noise that are coming out of the machines. We're starting to see that that's being pulled. It's the disposal of the machines and the components on the machines when they're done with their life. Customers are starting to look at that and say, what are you doing as a manufacturer? And that's what we're embracing. And the big one that you'll hear everybody talk about is data. Okay, so if you go to the Genie booth, what you'll see is we have an area dedicated to Live Connect. We keep featuring that. That's our telematics. It will consistently be the busiest part of our booth. Customers from all over the world, when they come in, they want to talk about telematics. And when we talk about telematics on our products, we view it as an evolved offering. The reason we say that is back in 2015, we could see that the rental operators around the world were starting to embrace the use of telematics, but everybody was doing something different. So we set our machines up so that we called it telematics ready, so that you could plug in whatever device you wanted. We would work with them on the I/O on that. And we saw that people continued to say, okay, what can we do with the machine? And everybody was learning kind of on the fly what was going on. This time last year, we introduced our Lift Connect. And what we started to do was put the telematics with a 3-year subscription on every boom, scissor, and telehandler. We're now up to 20,000 machines that we can take a look at what's going on with the data. We have retrofit kits available that can go back to the telematics ready. And we're seeing customers that once they understand Live Connect and the capabilities, they're saying, I want to buy the telematics device and install it on my fleet that I've had for the past 5 years. Because once they understand what they can get off the machine, they want more of it. So we're seeing a big pull from customers. So the power of data, and this ties into the purposeful innovation. One of the things, and the reason our telematics booth is so busy, is people are wrestling with, what do I do with the data? What data do I need? How do I get it? How do I not overload my teams with so much information that they don't know what to do with it? So like I said, we have 20,000 machines out there. Rental companies will have 10 times, 20 times that, the big operators. And they're wrestling with the same thing. We set ours up so that they can get the data through a portal that we developed. And this is targeted at the smaller rental companies that may not have the IT capabilities. They can go into a portal that we developed with input of rental companies from around the world, and they can look at how are their machines performing. And we're going through a big education, a learning curve with our customer base on, hey, this is part of the machines. Here's the information you can get, and we're feeling that they're grabbing it. Other customers have telematics devices from many different OEMs, and they just want to take that data and put it through their own portal. So we've kept that flexibility. Again, tying back to that purposeful innovation, making sure that we are taking what the customers are saying and listening to it and acting on it. Some of the things that you can do with the information is probably hard to read on these screens, but that's a battery box with a scissor lift. What's important with a scissor lift is, they're plugging them in and charging them. One service call for a rental company to go out and do anything minor, it can cost them at least $300. They can go in through the telematics and say, hey, that machine hasn't been charged in 3 days. Plug it in, call me back. We're seeing that happen now. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It's getting deeper and deeper. Because the other diagram up there is showing the development that we did. We changed our control systems completely so that you can extract information on, are the limit switches in place? What's going on with this machine? Again, what this is doing is it's responding to a shortage of service technicians in the industry. And so that's why we believe that this is the future, and we're seeing it rapidly change. So if you look at where's telematics going, if you move across the chart from access, advice to manage, the value increases. And if you go down to the left-hand side, that's the capabilities. And what we see is the rental companies are starting to migrate across this chart, and they're starting to use it, more consistently, and that's everywhere in the world. And so what we're seeing is the adoption of this is taking off. And we're seeing that the capability that we put into our control system so that they could access this data is starting to be understood. All right, so switching to products. When you go into our booth, again, you'll see a lot of blue machines. But really, when I talk about this is the culmination of 5 years of development, if you look at the boom family that we have out there, the first one, the J series, we're showing an 80-foot J in the booth, and at ARA we showed a 60-foot J series. What's important about these is these are for applications where it's about working at height. It has 660 pounds of platform capacity. The trick with these machines is we reduce the weight. Okay, and what's important with that is with rental companies when it comes into transport, that's important. You'll see in the booth we have the 80-footer with tracks on it. We can do that because we lightened up the machine. It's the only machine that's 80 feet and has tracks capability. So in certain ground conditions, that's important to rental operators. We've showcased the XC product line for the last couple of years. We've been moving that out into production. This is for the heavy lifting applications. We know from installing telematics on our machines that the platform capacity, they need capacity in those platforms. And we're seeing as we get these products out into the market, customers are continuing to pull them. So that's for the heavy lifting applications. The FE is our hybrid. And we have in the booth a Z45, which I'll show you on the next page. The FE Z45 has the exact same system as what we had in our Z60, which we introduced 4 years ago, the Z62. And so the technology is proven. Customers are seeing that the performance of it is as good as the diesel machines. The thing about it that is exciting is that you can take this machine and you can flip a switch and run it on complete battery. Okay, there's no noise. It has full performance with the engine on or off. If the batteries get low, you turn the engine on and you can charge the machine up. Some people are choosing to go with full electric rather than hybrid. We are intentionally going with FE technology because we feel that the infrastructure for the vast majority of the rental applications isn't there to do plug-ins for all the electric scissor lifts and all the full electric equipment. That'll come. The thing that we see is that we've got that basically designed. You would just pull the engine off, and then you have to put some extra batteries in there, and you have a full electric drive. So we're anticipating that that's coming, but we don't see it as the main pull from the rental operators. The other thing that's important about FE is that when I talk about the life cycle of the machines, these machines are typically run with a 50 horsepower engine. We put a 24.9 horsepower engine, which is a rest of the world engine. So at the end of its life, if a North American or European rental company wants to dispose of these machines, it's not limited by the low sulfur fuels that are required with the Tier 4 engine. So they can move these machines out. So we feel that's a key platform. And as you see the Genie product line continue to develop, you can count on that continuing to move in. We also have the E-Drive, stands for electric drive. I call it the bookends. We've got the smallest, we have a 13-foot electric drive scissor lift, and we have the 4655, our biggest slab scissor, both with electric drive, fully enclosed motors, designed specifically to be used in a scissor lift, not designed to be used in a forklift or a golf cart or something else, which is typically what you see in a lot of the products. Also, another really important product line for us is our telehandlers. We have 6 models ranging from 5,000 pounds to 15,000 pounds. We have a 5519, that's the smallest one. It's been kind of a mainstay of our product line, and we're showing that with the turf tires. But again, a very important product line that we continue to develop and innovate. Some of the productivity and safety devices that you can come see in our booth. And again, each of these comes directly from customers. One is a big, you can see this 13-foot platform. The only reason that's possible is because we redesigned the machines to have the extra capacity. So there's applications where you can get multiple workers up there and drive productivity for the rental companies and the construction companies. We have an access deck for boom lifts. We also have one for scissors. You can see out at construction sites, they'll either stand on the mid-rail or they'll put 2x4s or something across so they can get up into ductwork or something else. One of the industry, we had a forum of safety experts. They came in and they said, is there anything we can do about this? And we said yes. And so we developed the access deck, and it's been very well received. Moving down to the lift guard, we have a fall rest bar. It's very similar. The safety personnel said, hey, people are taking platforms, they're going up to roofs, they're exiting the platform. We developed a way that they can safely attach to the outside of the platform, tested it, got it certified. It solves a problem, it solves a safety issue, and that's what it's all about. Also the contact alarms that we have available for both booms and scissors can be seen standing. All right, so Terex Utilities. When we divested the cranes segment last year, we took the Terex Utilities business and we moved it under aerial work platforms. They were actually under us about 8 years ago. So to the team there, I said, welcome home, glad to have you. We both do very similar type of machines. They lift people up in the air to access above power lines or around power lines. So just a high level, if you look at the industry, what they're involved in, it's one of the things that I've grown to appreciate right away is the stability of this business relative to the rental channel. Because the power grid is something that is always in need. It continues to evolve. you're seeing an increasing number of wind and solar. Really where we start getting into it is from the transmission to the distribution, all the way down to either retail or the houses. The utilities business has been in business for 75 years. So again, like John said about Genie being 52 years in the business, these guys are pioneers in the working at height around high voltage. And they have a ton of experience, and it's an exciting space for us. The other thing that is happening is the 5G network is starting to be developed, and that is going to be a good driver for expansion in this space, because as they try to do autonomous cars and get that out there in the cities, they can put them up on the sides of buildings. When you get out into the rural areas, the poles are all that is there, so they have to work above and below. So we see a big driver from the 5G network. If you look at the product line they have a full product line with digger derricks. That's where you can dig the hole for a power tool if it gets blown over, or if you're putting in new power lines. Also, you can pick the pole up and put it in the hole and string it. You have the articulated devices. Down the lower side, they have the transmission area devices. Those are for the high voltage and the bigger machines, as well as the telecom type of trucks. They also have the full service suite. We already have been sharing parts warehouses between the Genie and Terex utilities. We're putting a lot of effort into continuing to grow the service businesses, because this business has a large number of its 20+ brick and mortar service centers, and we've trained them across the Genie product line, and we're seeing a big pull from customers. So this is a good place where the two businesses are aligned. John mentioned the amount of investment that we're doing across Terex. This is a picture of a building in Watertown, South Dakota. It's the biggest investment in Terex right now. It will open up this summer, and right now we're operating like a lot of businesses that grow over a long period of time. They have 11 buildings that are all within a few miles of each other, and so we're putting it all underneath one roof. It'll go live this summer, and we see improvements in safety, productivity, and capacity. So this is very exciting, and it's something that, when we look at where are we going to grow the business, this is one of the places that could be a great example of where we're going to continue to grow. So that's it. With that, I will introduce Kieran Hegarty of Material Processing.
Okay. Well, look, I suppose firstly, thank you for this opportunity. As Matt said, my name is Kieran Hegarty, and I'm the president of the MP segment, right? So, for the rest of Terex, we're continually investing in our customers, in terms of product, in terms of services, and also in terms of footprint. So, for those of you not familiar with the MP segment is effectively a collection of what I call specialized businesses, right? And if you look at it in terms of the sub-segments of the industries we serve, we have our, a lot of people as well, again, when they think of MP, perhaps the name material processing, they typically think of us, I know when I talk to a lot of people, a lot of press, they think of us as a crushing and screening business, right? But in reality, we're a much more diversified business in terms of the customer segments that we serve. Now, the common theme is operational excellence, and we do leverage technology. We sometimes leverage different channels to market. But the common theme across our business is we're very specialized and very focused, right, on the individual segments we serve. And also, I think it's important as well is to point out that across the segments we serve, we actually have industry-leading positions, right? So we are in crushing and screening. As John talked earlier, we're one of the pioneers of mobile crushing and screening equipment with our bar screen and Infinity businesses. And we've maintained relatively high market share and have developed high market share on a global basis with those businesses. We have an increasing footprint in environmental. When we say environmental, that's processing of wood waste, green waste, and industrial waste. And we do that through two businesses: our CBI business, product manufactured in North America, and a business that we developed internally called Terex AWP. Our concrete business consists of two businesses: our Bidwell, which is a specialty concrete paving machine focused on bridges, but also our Terex Advanced business, which makes custom or relatively custom designed front discharge concrete mixer trucks, right? We also have our material handling business, our Fuchs business. John talked earlier about that being 100 plus years old business, a global leader in scrap handling, waste handling, port handling, and just general material handling. Terex Conveying, and I'm going to speak about Terex Conveying later on in the presentation. Again, that's a business line that we're really leveraging our channels and the customer segments that we serve. And then obviously our lifting business. Now our lifting business consists of 3 primary individual business units that when we sold the primary part of our cranes business, we retained these businesses primarily because they were successful businesses in the products niches that we serve, and they're also specialty businesses. And the reason that they were put into MP was the commonality of our segment being able to run individual specialized businesses. So they consist of a rough terrain crane business, a successful tower crane business, and also our Frana pick and carry crane business in Australia. So if you actually look, obviously we're a diverse segment from a product perspective, but we also serve multiple customer segments. Again, some of our business lines will serve multiples of these segments, some of our business lines a bit more specialised. So we serve mining, quarry, road and rail construction, C&D recycling, general construction, scrap and waste handling, commercial waste, and we serve the forestry industry. So again, I think an important message is the diversity of the customer segments we serve, right? And that also explains why we're organised the way we are, because a lot of these customer segments demand very specific and specialised solutions for their particular needs. So that's the reason why we're organised the way we are. From a global perspective, we have a significant global footprint. We have significant manufacturing here in North America, significant manufacturing in Northern Ireland, primarily around our crushing and screening and our environmental business. We have factories in Germany, again for Fuchs business. We have obviously our Italian, our tower crane business, and our rough terrain business in Italy. Before you ask me, basically. And then obviously we have sales offices in Turkey, a substantial footprint which I'll speak about in India. Again, we have a very strong market position in crushing and screening in India. Factories in Malaysia, sales and service outlet and manufacturing in Australia. And obviously in China, that's a market that we're also planning to enter. We're currently selling our products into China, but in the long run, obviously to be successful in the Chinese market, we need to manufacture there. So similar to Matt, right, as well as invest in products, which I'll speak about in a moment, right, digitization and the digitization of our industry is critical to us satisfying the needs of our customers in the future. And obviously digitization across the equipment and the services portfolio, there's lots of fields and lots of specific areas. But what I'd like to just highlight again, Matt talked about telematics, and the key in telematics is transmitting or translating the data that comes off our assets into meaningful and actionable items that really bring value to the customer. So what that means are examples of that in a material processing point of view. I gave the example here in our power screen business and our Fuchs business. Our customers can go online, they can go on their laptops and their tablets and their smartphones and get up-to-date real live data in terms of how the machines are performing in terms of production, how many hours on the machines. And again, that's focused on driving the key actions around, okay, when's my next service interval? When do I need to schedule the next service? What are my alarms? The production data. So again, it's focused on real, meaningful data that the customers can action. So that's an example in terms of telematics. We've got thousands of connected assets. All our crushing and screening, all our Fuchs machines, and our goal is every machine leaving our factory is telematics enabled and transmitting data. And again, it's using that data back into actionable reports. Another example, and again we're showcasing this is an example of an award-winning application, tablet-based application that we developed in our crushing and screening business. But again, we're rolling this out now where it's applicable, in our environmental business. Many of our assets actually work in conjunction with each other. So for example, in the crushing world, you could have a jaw crusher, feeding a cone crusher, feeding a screening plant, And the reality is, all of those points, they're operating as independent units. They're all, in the process line, they're all connected. This Omni tablet allows an operator in the cab to go and monitor the performance, change performance parameters. So he can all do that from the comfort of the cab, but also the safety of the cab. He's not getting out and walking up to the individual machine in an active job site. For those of you who know in quarries, safety is paramount in quarries when you're working with assets like these. Another example would be what we call CDI, or connected dealer inventory. As specialized businesses, we tend to use very specialized distribution partners, right? We don't tend to, we're not a Caterpillar, we're not a Komatsu with scalable large dealers, right? Our method to market is specialized focused dealers that know the applications that our customers want, and know the machinery, and fundamentally know how to apply the machinery, right? So we don't have the scale, nor do we particularly want the scale of a Caterpillar or a Komatsu dealer, right? However, what's really important ultimately is our machines as production assets. Similar to other pieces of equipment, uptime. Our machines are the material that's coming off our machines, the material that's being handled by our machines, that's the customer's money, right? And uptime's critical. And obviously uptime, we all like to think we build robust and high quality machines, which we do, but they consume parts, right? So the availability of parts is absolutely critical. So we're investing heavily in software and systems that allow us to see the dealer inventory, the parts inventory at the dealer level. So that gives us multiple touch points across the globe in terms of inventory, and it also connects all our dealers so we can see the parts, that they can see other dealers' parts inventory, they can see our parts inventory. Again, Caterpillar dealers, it's common in terms of the scale of Caterpillar dealers and Komatsu dealers. Across our specialty industries, we're focused on being a market leader, and this being a key value proposition as to why a customer would deal with our products. So it's all focused on maximizing uptime and maximizing parts availability in real time. Another example, and again you can see this on our stand, right? Another example of digitization would be VR and AR. Across all our business lines, very much focused on using virtual reality and augmented reality as a proactive tool, not just as a sales feature in terms of talking to customers through the features in our products, but also to train service techs, train our customers in the best usage of the machine, and increasingly as well using VR and AR in our manufacturing process in terms of actually tying it into how we manufacture product and how we train our production operatives across the business. In addition, like Matt pointed out as well, like any major show, we also like to showcase products that we've developed since the last major show, right? This is an example of a power screen machine. Again, it's a hybrid machine. It's a dual power machine. It can work on both a diesel engine, but also where there is availability of electric on site, it can be plugged in and powered electrically. For those of you from the UK, this morning there was a budget, and the Chancellor, the Financial Chancellor, announced that he was abolishing the duty exemption on industrial assets for fuel. If you fuel your car in the UK with diesel, you obviously pay significant duty. However, if you were putting it into an industrial asset, that was free of duty. Now they put the duty at the same level as a consumer. Again, that's that significant drive to try and force people away from using carbon fuels. And again, across our industry, we're investing heavily in electrification, just like Matt talked about in the Genie. And that's again a trend, both from a cost perspective, with examples of the duty getting abolished, but also the fact that more and more customers are becoming environmentally aware. And for example, a lot of our large corporate companies in California are saying for you to get a permit to work one of our machines in the job site, it must be hybrid. So again, an example of that hybrid power. Again, our Cedar Rapids business, we're showcasing our 1113R impactor. Again, a fully electrified product, can be used in quarries, can be used in recycle job site, wheel portable, large feed hopper, can be fed by loaders, so high production. Again, from a cost to operate point of view, completely electric machine. So again, big focus on that. Also shown at the festival lot, an RT, one of our RT80s cranes, right? Again, we identified, we've already launched in North America the RT100. The RT80 was a very popular size of rough terrains in the market, right? So we're showcasing as well the RT80, and again, you can see that against fully telematics enabled, has the TOS, the Terex operating system. So we're showcasing that machine on our festival lot. On the silver lot here as well, I talked earlier about we have a leading position in front discharge. You can see that unique. It's not a traditional rear discharge. Most of you familiar with concrete delivery would be familiar with a rear discharge. This is a front discharge. It's got many benefits in applications. In North America, very North American focused. Again, this is a business we've been focused on. It traditionally had a big market share in the Midwest states, in Indiana and Ohio. And over the last couple of years, we've been expanding that now with our entering markets in Texas. And Terex are number one with a significant market share in front discharge. And front discharge as a share of the overall concrete delivery is actually increasing. It's taking a bigger market share away from rear. So again, an important business. And on our silver lot, we're showing a brand new Charger series, updated cab, updated electronics. Again, continuing to invest in that business. And then also, those of you from Australia, you're probably very familiar. This is a product that's fundamentally ubiquitous in Australia. They're like taxis, right? It's a pick and carry crane, right? So whilst an RT crane or a traditional mobile crane will lift, it's made stationary when it's lifted. The uniqueness of this is it lifts, but it also moves, so it can carry it around the job site and it articulates. We have 90% market share in this product in Australia and New Zealand, but the only other significant market that uses pick and carry cranes is India. There's perhaps 400 pick and carries sold a year in the Australian market, the Australian New Zealand market. There's 9,000 pick and carry cranes sold in India every year, 9,000, right? So again, we're now trying to internationalize this business, and again, we have a product. If you stop by the festival lot, you'll see the product, the 1822, in the flesh, the Fearon product. So very excited about internationalizing that product. They keep saying the Fearon guys keep telling me this is Australia's best kept secret. And I said, it doesn't need to be a secret. So in terms of the investment, John and Matt spoke about the investment. From an MP perspective, over the last 10 years, we've made multi-million-dollar, $20, $30 million plus investment in our India. Just completed another round of that investment. Brand new aftermarket centre of excellence, a rebuild centre. We have developed over the last 10 years a significant market presence in India, and we're now going to develop the capability of machines that are in the field from a crushing and screening perspective. And also a new training facility. One of the keys to our strategies in India, and again in other developing markets, is adoption. We make products, mobile crushing and screening equipment, we make Fearon cranes that ultimately we want the market to adopt. So critical to that adoption story is training. We've also made a significant investment, again, in our environmental and our conveying business, which I'll speak about earlier. Brand new factory in Northern Ireland, where I created 100 jobs. And again, that's a factory that we started in March of last year, and that's now fully up to production, right? And we're continuing to expand that business as well, based on market growth. China, historically, MP, we haven't had with the AWP segment, has a significant manufacturing presence in China, again, based on the adoption, right? We're leveraging that. There's a continuing expansion throughout this year. There's a new factory underway in Changzhou, and we will be taking footprints.